Get ready. Out There Winning podcast starts in 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Be sure to like and subscribe. There's still time to share with your friends. We will be live in 3 minutes. Minutes. Like, subscribe, and share. Be sure to comment for live answers during the podcast. We will see you in studio in 30 seconds. And now for the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast Out There Winning with James and Akeem.
If you had an opportunity, go ahead and share this video. If you have any comments, go ahead and comment. And also, you can subscribe on our YouTube channel as well.
Today we have the world fishing champions, Elijah Coleman and Bryce Alfrey, and Gene Norhold, the head coach at U Pike in Kentucky here.
Welcome to the show, fellas. Glad that y'all are here. First I want to go ahead and just start off asking a few questions to the new coach, right?
Right.
The new bass coach down at University of Pikeville.
Yes, sir.
Hired by a mutual friend that we have, Corey Phipps.
Yes, sir.
I know Corey's super adventurous, right? And he's a go-getter.
He's a go-getter.
And a heck of an AD. I mean, that was a heck of a hire. I knew right when they hired him that he was going to do some big things down there, and then started this bass program. Gene, talk a little bit about the bass program and what it takes to start one up, because I know that you have done it at a prior university.
Yes. Well, to be honest about it, it's one of these deals where you've got to know a lot of kids. You've got to be able to travel the country, follow these kids. These two young men sitting here in front of me, this is what I look for, talent.
Right.
And you've got to have talent to do good. You've got to have numbers to build your program. So you have to kind of just get out. But you have to make a face appearance.
Sure.
And these guys right here, of course, I've been probably watching them more than they've ever been watching me.
Right.
And I've had opportunities to fish with Elijah. And, Bryce, I've met him at Cumberland Lake, and we've kind of got some mutual friends now that's coming to fish for me at U Pike. But these guys right here, man, this is what it's all about. This is what this whole thing's all about. It's these two young men.
Yeah, the future, right?
Future of fishing sitting right in front of us.
Tell us a little bit about when you used to fish, maybe. You said you fished professionally?
Well, I used to fish on tour some, and, when everything's changed. These guys right here are so much more mechanically inclined. They know how to do electronics. The new stuff that's out now, these guys are super good on them. Mm-hmm. And me, I'm still old school. So it's hard for me to get in the rhythm here. But this is what it's coming to.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to get out there, and these guys are so good on these electronics, and they represent themselves well. They represent their electronic companies well. When they do good, they share it, So this is what it's all about, and it's just so much different. When my day you was just out fishing. These guys right here are out working, fishing, and they know what they're doing on this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all changed.
So, guys, Gene told us that it's well, first off, let's talk a little bit about how you guys got together.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys, how long did you know each other before you fished together?
Well, probably about a year and a half or so, because we always see each other at the state championships and other, like the Bradley Roy, SAF State, KBN State. Usually we fish in the same region as well, so we kind of just see each other all over and kind of like talk to each other before weigh in and after. So, and
we were talking before the show, when you guys decided to maybe you should fish together for this tournament that you won. You didn't even have each other's phone numbers.
Right. No.
Yeah. So how that connection happened?
Well,
Instagram.
Yeah, we had each other's Instagram. We both followed and liked each other's posts. So it was kind of a wing it thing, and he calls me 11 o'clock in the morning. Of course, me being asleep, it being summer break, so my phone rings once. I seen it was Elijah. I just hit the mute button, go back to sleep. Rings again, hit the mute button again. Finally it rings the third time. I'm like, well, I gotta answer it now. I don't want to be mean, so I answered. He's like, you fishing Worlds? I was like, no, my partner actually dipped out on me, so I'm not. He was like, well, you want to? And it just kind of, the marbles kind of fell from there, and it just went on from there, and I was like, sure.
So y'all linked up, and y'all became world champions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now what lake was that?
Lake Hartwell in South Carolina.
South Carolina. So tell us the process, how you all prepare for that trip.
Well, we'd both had prior experience on the lake. I'd been up there. We both fished the BASS Nationals in 2023 there, and I went for fall break in 2023. And had some pretty good luck. And then we went fishing on the boat one time before we went to South Carolina, and we did pretty good at Cave Run. So.
Okay. Now, if you want to go ahead, throw a little shout out. What school do you represent?
I represent Clark County GRC.
I represent Montgomery County.
So the two sides can work together, right? I mean,
barely.
Barely. Is it barely?
Yeah.
It's still a love-hate relationship. Y'all still say, well, I still caught the bigger fish or whatnot, right?
Right.
Going back over to Gene. Gene, you talk about like this is the future. This is what this is all about. Like what do you look for? We seem like two awesome young men that are sitting beside me here. But what are you looking for in a fisherman or a fisherwoman?
And what I see it, first thing I do is, of course, I want them to be productive. I want them to have good standards, good morals, and things. And I kind of watch the kid. And I've got kids that can't only fish, but they're young men and women. They're gentlemen and
right.
ladies, you know what I'm saying? And, from start to finish, if they're planning on taking it to the next level, it's more than just fishing.
Right.
To gain sponsors, they want representation. And I look at the same thing. As University of Pikeville coach, I want someone to go out and to represent my college.
Right.
I'm the coach. I want them to make us proud. And catching fish, they're going to do that. They're good. They're good. I got no question. But it's how they represent themselves to that point.
Right.
It's keeping the grades. It's making sure that the coach don't have to worry about, hey, are you going to be able to fish next tournament?
Right.
I want to make sure that their grades are strong and solid, that they're being the person that I expect them to be, that, I've given them some scholarships to be, you know what I'm saying, and stuff. So, most of the kids in the fishing world that I deal with are just aces. They're just
right.
so good. And right here's two of them.
Right.
Honestly, they didn't get here by luck. They got here by chance, and they've done well to get where they're at.
Right.
And these two boys right here has got bright future.
Now Bryce, where are you in high school? What grade level are you in?
I'm going into my sophomore year.
So you've got 2 more years. 3 more years
Right, yeah.
till you're looking at college.
Right.
But already colleges are looking at you.
Yeah, it really ain't set in yet. I really, all my life I went to fish in college, and that's the main goal, and take it to the next step. But it really ain't set in that college, it ain't set in yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Elijah, what about you? You're
I'm going into my senior
going
year.
into your senior year, so you're this is hitting at a time where you need colleges to look at you.
Yeah.
Right. And you want to fish in college? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit of what you think, and we'll be able to kind of bounce this back and forth to what you think college is going to look like for you.
Well, I don't know exactly what I'm going to go to study or anything like that, but college, I figure it's going to be a fine line between fishing and having to keep the grades, because at the end of the day, you're going to get a degree,
Right.
and not just fish and stuff. So
I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. It sounds like you got 2 good ones right now. I could be the agent if needed to make this transaction happen. There's NIL money out there today, so
the thing about it is, it's just like you said. First things first. It's called a degree.
Yeah.
Right.
The rest will follow, and if you get that degree, everything else is going to work out.
Right.
If you're out here and you got a good job making good money, you can go pro. You can do things. You can also go pro, but in terms to college. I've got kids from my former school that's fishing pro tour today, and
that's awesome.
I'm so proud of them.
Yeah,
and I really am. 2 brothers. I am. I'm proud of my whole all of them. They've done well. But these boys right here can take it to the next level. You really can. And colleges is going to be looking at you, so represent yourself well in anything you do. Make sure you represent yourself, because that's where it comes from. And of course, you got to understand something. When I say college is going to be looking at you, it's going to be behind my back, because right here's the front one's going to be looking at you.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying. So that's just the way it is. I'm out here for business, just like you all are out here for business. We're out, and that's what you got to do. That's how you establish good relationships with your kids.
That's right.
You've got to let them know that it ain't all about me. It ain't all about, it's about you. And we've got to make sure that we take you where you want to go to that level. And, there's people out there that can do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to represent yourself, like I've always said to you. And I know I've told you more times than once, represent yourself well. And you do. One of the best kids, absolutely, you do. And, with you, I don't know you as well as I do him, but I've seen you, I've watched you, I've been to faraway places watching you, so, and it's going to get worse. If you think it's bad now, seeing my face, it's going to get worse.
Right.
but that's how it works.
Go ahead.
So guys, fishing a lot of people just think fishing is throwing a line in the water, waiting on a fish to catch a worm, right? I got a bobber on my pole and I throw it out there a lot of times.
Yeah.
Tell us like what goes into being a champion. Baits and all that type of stuff. How does that? It's a lot of work. Tell us about it.
Fishing is really like mental sport. You're your own worst enemy most of the time, and it takes a lot of thinking with all the changing conditions and stuff like that. Like down in South Carolina, it was like 107 degrees on the last day. It was like 80% humidity. That was terrible. Like
that sounds like a worst enemy.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, talk about the strategy that goes behind, because obviously you're looking at a massive lake, right?
It was.
What's the difference between me throwing the line over here to over there, maybe to under some brush or whatnot? Like what? How do you do that?
Yeah, and I think it's like far more in depth than just fishing.
Yeah.
Physically, you can't really prepare yourself for large events like the one we just fished. It's all a real mental state. If you can catch, you're never gonna catch a fish where it's not supposed to be. So,
right.
If you put your head down and fish, we know how to catch fish. So, if you just put your head down and stay in it mentally, you can win events.
Gotcha.
It takes. And most of the time, fishing is a lot of experience on prior lakes and stuff because we didn't get any practice. We got like an hour of practice, and we didn't.
So what are you looking for when you're out there?
I don't know. You just like go out, and I tried all the prior stuff that I knew on the lake where I'd caught fish before, like brush piles, cane piles, ditches, and
you can see those with electronics.
Oh yeah,
right?
you can watch your bait go down. It's pretty cool.
Sounds like some money goes in that fishing, right?
Just a tad.
So that's why you get some sponsorships, and I know you guys are sponsored by some folks. You want those some shout outs to some of your sponsors there?
Right. Me and him are both sponsored by Seven Lakes Pay Lake. Is a new sponsor of ours.
Hammerhead Sonar in Winchester, really good electronics place, and then Ducket Rods.
Yeah, Ducket Rods for sure.
So y'all are open up to some more sponsors, obviously, right?
Right, for sure. We need it.
So if y'all are out there and y'all are needing some so looks like some more jersey tags and stuff like that, hey, they'll whip them on there for you.
That's right.
So Gene, tell us a little bit about what you look for when you're out there fishing. When you're talking to your guys, you're coaching them up. What are you looking for when you're out on the lake, somewhere you've never been?
Well, most time, the guys that I've come out, I'm usually looking for a shade tree because they're a lot better off than I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah.
But seriously, these kids now are so, when they come into the college level, they're about 2 steps from being pro. They're that good. And my job's easy. My hardest job I have ain't teaching them how to catch a fish. I ain't teaching them how to find a fish. It's to let them know that I want them in my program. I want them fishing for me. I want them fishing for you, Pike. And I want to give them every opportunity that I can give them kids to get out and to let their self shine.
Right.
These kids are just so talented. I mean, they're absolutely talented. And I don't know if you've ever been to a national weigh-in or even to a Bassmaster weigh-in or MLF weigh-in, but it's crazy. And these guys here, they can attest to what I'm saying. They know. It's just, it's unbelievable. It's these kids that comes up with limits of fish. But just like, Elijah said a few minutes ago, everything is structured on a different time of year. If it's spring, early spring, water temperature's 45 degrees, 40, you're probably not too much worried about the brush piles and you ain't worried about that. You're more set on finding little schools of fish and doing your live scoping, catching them, or getting in shallower, throwing jerk baits, and stuff. But as the water starts warming up, the fish starts moving, transitioning toward banks, getting ready for spawning periods, then you got to change your whole different style of fishing. Yeah. But as the water temperature gets to a certain thing, 80, 85 degrees, you always probably fishing 90 degrees down there at water temperature, probably higher than that maybe.
I think at one point it was like 91.
Yeah, so they're out back deep because the fish has done went in, they've done spawn, now they've moved back out to their channels like they was talking about. So the cane piles that's a big thing on Hartwell. I mean, that's something you put your mind on. And your brush piles and your channels, and that's what they was focusing, and that's what they was running and doing that till they found them. And that's pretty much, but also at that same time, you got to be eligible enough to know that our fish still move up 6 inches of water, and they will get in the shallows, especially that time of year if it's not getting pressured. Here's what happens: they get in there and they get on that deep stuff, on the brush, the cane. They're fishing so hard with these live scopes, it puts the fish up shallow. It puts all the pressure on them. They move up. Then guys like this can make decisions to go in maybe, and I don't know what they done down there, but they can go in shallow, and then they can start flipping or pitching or stand back off of it. And they might be catching big fish out of water that ain't 6 inches deep because they don't have no pressure on them no more. So that's where you've got to really get your mindset on what to do. Anything's getting pounded, go somewhere else, and figure it out. And somebody's done that. I mean, somebody's got to do that,
Now, not sure when the whole transition as far as bass fishing in high school started, and obviously I seen the transition in college. But for guys who like to fish like you, what's the importance of having bass fishing in your school system?
It's just a great opportunity because not all people can go out and play basketball and stuff like that. So it's just another good way to get into college and enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, we had multiple scholarships, just for winning an event, and that's not including all the colleges that are looking at us. So, I mean, I'm not an athletic person. I can't go shoot a basketball, throw a baseball. So, I got into fishing, and it's all a research deal. So you can be the most unathletic person and be great in the sport.
Yeah. So the importance of just other opportunities, as you mentioned, just to be able to allow others, the opportunities to get a higher education. Gene, from the college perspective, how important is bass fishing being added to UPike in this sense? How important is that to the university?
Well, it's important to. I mean, it's a major step to University of Pikeville. It's a major step. Eastern Kentucky is a fishing capital. People just don't know it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these kids are getting opportunities now that they never had before. And our college, I'm telling you, I've been up there today all day, and it's just everybody I've talked to and run into, they're just so excited, supportive, and it was kind of like the Wizard of Oz. I felt like I was in the land of Oz. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm
beautiful campus down there.
It's
Beautiful
crazy.
campus.
Yeah, it is. And there's just so much more happening. And, this gives a lot of Kentucky kids a chance to grow themselves, and to get into a situation to where it's going to make them go to the next level if that's where they want to go. But it's giving opportunities so much for these kids to get good educations now. That would have never came. If down the road we end up with 50 kids on the bass fishing team, that's 50 kids that's got opportunities now that would have never had that without UPike stepping in and saying, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make it happen. And they have.
It's super exciting to see universities add different opportunities or other programs so people can, as you mentioned, folks may not be able to shoot a basketball or throw a football, but
you can, from what I'm hearing from you guys, is there's a lot of intelligence that goes into this. That people don't even, that people don't even put in there because you have to be good on electronics. You have to be a good decision maker. You have to know when fish are doing what fish do. Right.
Yeah.
Because people nowadays a lot of times get hung up on electronics and stuff. Now they're great. I catch most of my fish with them, but there's a certain point you got to know when to stop doing it and beat the bank shallow because nobody else is doing it.
Because electronics might go out, right?
Right. They could go out, and then what we're seeing down at Lake Hartwell, because they put the electronics. They put stuff out like waves in the water. They transmit signals and stuff. So we figured out that the fish could feel them. They were
literally. It's crazy.
As soon as you'd point your live scope at them, they'd shoot straight to the bottom, and so we couldn't catch anything on live scope.
Yeah.
We caught. I mean, the first 2 days of the tournament, we were, I think after day one, sitting in 60th place. So, and then
So Hartwell.
Yeah. They're out deep.
Yeah.
They made an adjustment, right?
Yeah,
We
the
tried
cool
it
thing.
day 2.
Yeah.
And we had some motor issues on day 2 and had to fix that at the hotel.
Right.
So that was fun.
Yeah. On day 1 of Hartwell, we caught fish, scoping like is his deal. My deal's shallow. I'm just like Gene right there.
So did y'all go shallow and catch any fish, boys? That's
all of our fish.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know about the bushes getting banged.
But
The secret is unlocked.
See what I'm saying?
Let everybody else do the bushes, right? And y'all go wait on the shallow end.
Yeah, see, the young boys is following school, old school.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
So and I think that's why me and Elijah, mix so well, is because he can go out deep and catch fish. I can catch fish out deep too, but that's his deal. And my deal is to pick up, a 3-ounce tungsten and just go flipping the banks. And that's kind of what we did. The first day and a half of the tournament. After day 1, we knew we were going to need like 12 pounds to, get back up in the top 10 and make the last day. So we were like, scratch this idea. Let's go pre-fishing, on day 2. So we went out deep for the first day and a half of the tournament, and it just wasn't there. The fish, the quality that we needed. The quantity was definitely there. We seen a bunch of schools.
We'd catch a lot of fish, but they weren't.
It's babies.
Yeah, 12 and a half squeakers that would keep, but it wouldn't do anything in the tournament. So I was like, well, let's go up shallow. He was debating. He was hesitant at first. Let's go up shallow because the year prior to that we had the Bass Nationals there, and I actually had 15 pounds in 3 fish on day 3 of practice. I had 3 5-pounders flipping up shallow. So we went up shallow, and we got up there. First 2 flips, I lost 2 4-pounders. So we're like, well, let's back off.
Hold on.
Yeah.
How'd you know there's 4-pounders?
We could see it.
Y'all can see them? Is
Yeah,
that-
we ain't telling fishtails here. They came up and rode on us, and flipping docks and rock and riprap.
They were getting us wrapped around them dock cables a lot because we had to fight them out of the metal dock cables and they would fray your line off.
Yeah,
to pieces.
100%.
So you had to know how to fight them fish. And
So after that, on day 3,
we had like one rod.
we had one rod apiece on deck. It was a flipping stick, and we're like, let's go up shallow. We're gonna live and die on this creek. And we had 2 creeks, and went up there. First 10 minutes of the day, I caught a 4-pounder. So we were like, well, we got something going. Fell out of the limit. Maybe had 7 pounds.
Yeah, we probably had 6 or 7 pounds with that 4-pounder and then we transitioned creeks over to a different creek, and we ended up catching 2. I caught 2 3-pounders behind somebody, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Just watch their face. But
Look what I got, guys.
Right. Yeah. So real crazy experience there, and we ended up having a fish die on us. We don't know how it died.
It died in their weigh-in line, like it died in the check-in line.
So it's just
That's another thing that people overlook is you have to take care of your fish.
Fish care needs, especially heat in summertime.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah, they're just like us. They don't want to be outside in the heat. They want to be shallow under a shade tree and just chilling there. So, fish care is our number 1 priority.
What do y'all do with them? Y'all keep them on the boat? I mean, is that how it works?
Yeah, we got 2 live wells with aerators and stuff like that.
How do you control temperature in there?
It's water from the lake.
So it doesn't.
Yeah, you can add ice and try to control it as best you can, like we did.
Let me tell you a bit about fizzing them.
Yeah, and if you catch them too deep, you have to fizz them. And if you mess up, there's a spot probably the size of a penny that you have to hit on a fish, and
if
you don't
miss
hit it, you kill them.
Yeah.
What is it? What do you hit it with?
A needle.
So you take just it's like a needle.
They have an air bladder.
So you're trying to let that air go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't let it out, they'll sit there and die in the water.
Because of the pressure probably of them
because
swimming.
The water pressure
Gotcha.
changes.
How deep is that you have to do?
20 foot or deeper. When the hotter it is, the shallower you need to fizz them. And I honestly think that's why that 4-pounder died. We only caught it in 10 foot of water, flipping docks, but
we brought it up. It brought it up so fast
because it was under a dock. So when I set the hook, I had to get it out. I couldn't I couldn't fight it. So I think we brung it up too quick, and it was sitting live well head up, and it was just weird to us.
And it was on its side the whole time.
Yeah.
And we caught it so early in the day. If we would have caught it later in the day, I think it would
have been fine because it made it the whole day. Yeah.
Right.
So how many fish are you allowed to take up to the weigh-in?
Right.
3.
Well, it depends on different tournaments. Earlier in the year.
So the world champion one was how many? 3.
Yeah.
And what were the weights of those?
We had 3 fish on the last day for 13 pounds. Yeah.
13 pounds got it.
We had the second biggest bass of the tournament.
Yeah, we had a 6-pound, 14-ounce.
Now, do they let you take them home and fillet them up? And I mess with it.
That's why they got to be alive. They
That's
put
a
them
bass
out.
fishing first enemy.
That's right.
Everybody, thank you for watching our podcast. We are going to go to a commercial break right now.
Out There Winning podcast is brought to you in part by Dubby, your taste buds' favorite energy drink.
Follow your bubby over to Facebook and click on the W. Get a 10% discount with our code Out There Winning. Fishes and Honeycomb Children's Boutique, where every outfit tells a story and every toy sparks imagination.
From beautiful dresses to adorable t-shirts, we have the perfect ensemble for every occasion.
Fishes and Honeycomb Children's Boutique at fishesandhoneycomb.com. Also, follow us on Facebook. Great Yard Prime Wash, Pressure Wash, and Soft Wash Services.
Destroying grime, one house at a time. Contact Great Yard Prime Wash at greatyardprimewash.com.
Pool Brothers. Turn your backyard into a dream oasis.
Complete pool installations from start to finish. Contact Pool Brothers at poolbrothers.com.
Chill Zone CBD at chillzonecbd.com.
Discover the natural benefits of CBD with our premium products. Whether you're seeking for relaxation, relief, or rejuvenation, our CBD's offering have you covered.
Your journey to natural relief starts at Chill Zone CBD. chillzonecbd.com.
X-Powered Travel.
Escape the ordinary and explore the extraordinary with our travel packages tailored to satisfy every wanderlust. Whether you crave the serenity of pristine beaches, the thrill of vibrant cities, or the awe-inspiring beauty of nature's wonders, we have the perfect destination waiting for you.
X-Powered Travel at xpoweredtravel.com. Next Level Entertainment.
Elevate your event to the next level with our premier mobile DJ services. Whether you're planning a wedding, corporate event, birthday bash, or any special occasion, our professional DJs are here to keep the party rocking all night long.
Find us on Facebook at Next Level Entertainment. Out There Winning podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Out There Winning with James and Akeem. We've been talking about some real good fishing stories with Elijah and Bryce here and Gene. But at the break, we were talking about Elijah's and Bryce's captain for their tournament they just got out of. Tell us about that, guys.
So we didn't have a boat captain because my dad couldn't get off work, so my mom stepped up. So thank you, Mom. She'd never been a boat captain before.
Right.
And she was our boat captain for the first 3 days. So
Yeah.
we kind of convinced her to run some sketchy water. That she could,
We were in 3 foot of chocolate milk, and I said, "Oh, it's 20 foot. You're fine." She
Yeah.
says, "No." His dad said, "Don't run in the red." I said, "Oh, it must be it's
I
glitching or
must have the
something."
wrong color pattern on electronics. So, and when she let out, we were going like 60. When she let out of the throttle,
You can feel it bog down in mud.
yeah, you could feel it hitting the mud.
Well, at least it wasn't an iceberg out there, right? Like the Titanic, right? So,
Might have been why y'all was having engine problems.
I mean, what the problem?
That wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
That was
So let's talk about like as you at the end of the tournament there, like how many people did they take the cut? What was the weigh in on the cut? Maybe and
there was almost, I think there was close to 500 people in this tournament, or 500 boats.
500 boats.
They take the top 30.
And they do a lucky dog draw.
Yeah, they draw one person out of the 500 that didn't make it, and they get to fish the last day.
So we can kind of go over like the last day how it went for us. It was kind of a crazy story. So like I said, we started off. I hooked the 4-pounder, and then
on the third day,
on the final day, the third day, the one that helped us qualify to get into the final day. So I caught a 4-pounder, and then I think he caught a couple little ones. I caught a couple little ones. We went through a lot of little fish.
We were catching a lot of fish up shallow. It was we were probably catching
30 or 40, 50 fish a day, and for Hartwell, that's a lot of largemouth because there's not that many largemouth compared to spotted bass.
And it was crazy.
It was pretty crazy
because you never know what you're going to hook into. If you're going to hook into a 4-pounder or a 4-incher, they were all eating the same too.
It all just, and he was at the end of the day, he was like, well, let me pick up a big bait and see if I can get a big one to eat. So he throws a 10-inch worm, and I kid you not, he sets the hook. He's like, it's a giant dude. It ate the big worm. I was like, oh my god.
I told him to get the net before I even set the hook, and I set the hook, and we were fishing so shallow. I set the hook, and the fish came all the way out to the other side.
Maybe 8 inches. It was just bad.
The worm was bigger than the fish.
Yeah.
Wow. What's the biggest fish you caught like in your lifetime, besides the catfish and all that bass wise?
I caught a 6-pounder at Cave Run. Cave Run. It's pretty tough to catch.
What about you?
I caught an 8.3 last summer at the Winchester Reservoir, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Gene, going over to you, you started, Kentucky Christian University, started their bass program, and then I joke a lot, but I call Gene Nornho the Calipari of bass fishing. I mean, because he literally started the program at KCU and became the #1 bass fishing program in the country.
Well, it's been a good program. We've had a lot of good, with that program. We've had some people come out of that program that's really shined. And Matt and Leif Messer. I mean, they've just been on fire. The Messer boys and Matt and Leif, they're on the, fishing the EQs now with bass, doing a super good job, which I'm so proud of them both. Matt just made the Bassmaster Classic, and I never kind of look at anything. I look at where these kids are going. Right. That's what's important to me. And I sit at night sometimes, and man, it's just so. And my poor wife, she can tell you. I mean, I'm always every night on the phone to 12, 1 o'clock, or I'm talking to kids. Me and him's all.
That's a big shout out to Becky, right?
Yeah, big shout out to Becky. And but I've always wanted to see these kids on a level that they've always dreamed of being there. Mm-hmm. And I don't ever try to take any kind of recognition for that. Right. But with that being said, I'm so proud of them, and they just never cease to amaze me,
right.
And I am so, this Montgomery County program, Billy and them over at, with George, GRC, mm-hmm. Man, this is it. This stuff's starting to happen, even with Montgomery County, we got great coaches, with Vice and Cobb, everybody. Yeah. And they're all putting together a super good program, which is making my job easier. Right. It's making it harder to get some of these kids, whether I get them or not. They're still my local boys, and I still can watch them to go to the next level.
Right.
And that's where I'm at, on this. And we're all about winning national championships. Who ain't? You know what I'm saying? That's a trophy. That's something we want. That's what we work hard for. That's what we put our schools out there on the, put their name out there. And everything we do to go to the next level just makes it easier for me to be a coach, to make it better for our school, to get the repetition that they need, and what these boys right here are doing right now. And it's with a lot of these kids. They are all right now are just doing so well, and I'm proud of them all.
About how many do you have in your fishing program now at U-Pike?
Well, U-Pike right now, I've got, as of today, 22 kids that's applied, and for 3 weeks. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I'm trying to move them kids, you know, and that's not saying 22's coming.
Right.
That's 22 that's applied.
Applied, right.
You know, we've got to look at a lot of things and get things in 12, or if we have 22. This time next year, we're going to be
telling you,
rolling.
man. I'm telling you, it's like Calipari, right, man?
Right.
They're going to follow you. They're going to follow you.
I mean, you said the bar. You know, you said you want national championship.
That's it.
So
you do.
For a coach to come in and won a national championship and start that type of a tradition, you know, that says a lot about what he expects and what he's trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And what he's going to put into that program.
Right.
Well,
it's everything.
This is kind of like my little elite program, because I'm getting to run this program. I'm so thankful to Coach Phipps, to Pikeville University for giving me the chance and the opportunity and backing this program, not only for me, but for these guys that's all wanting to fish to the next level. They're giving them opportunities. I'm giving them opportunities, and we're business. We want to win national championships, and we're going to set that bar till we get there.
Right.
There's no way that we're not. We've got to do that. And these boys right here, they're going to be fishing somewhere.
Yeah.
They're going to make some coach happy. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Right. Well, some of your coaches at the high school, like Coach Cobb and Coach Bryce and Coach Bailey there at GRC, I mean, being able to eventually transition, right? You're closer than Bryce, but being able to go and maybe fish for somebody that how comfortable would that be for you?
It's be a lot better than just going to fish for some random person.
Right. I mean, I'm sure all coaches, they know their sport and so forth, but to know somebody to watch, like you said, he's been watching you guys for a long time, so he knows your parents, he knows, your work ethic, he knows how you fish and things like that. I just was wanting to get your perspective on that, on the comfortability there.
It's a lot better going in, I think it'd be a lot better going in to fish for somebody that actually know pretty well, rather than just a coach that I've been talking to for a couple months or so.
Yeah.
Well, and I do want to say this: as far as a kid coming, I respect any kid that wants, and I've got a lot of them right now that's following me because I've been their coach for a long time, and they're wanting to come with me because they know my standards, they know what I stand for, and that's just the way it's going to be, And foremost all, before I go any further, I put Lord in front of my fishing, and that's where I'm going, no matter what. If I get fired tomorrow, I mean, I don't back off of that.
Sure.
But with that being said, I want these kids to pick and choose where they're happy at.
Right.
The coach can help them, but they've got to be happy where they're at.
Yeah.
And, I don't care where it is. You know what I'm saying? And I've had kids call me like, Coach, I'd like to fish for you, but I think this is my setting. And, I'm not one of these guys that now, man, that ain't right. I want you to do what's best for these kids.
Right.
And that's the way it's going to be, on that.
Well, tell us a little bit about what's next, guys. I mean, you guys are going to be fishing against each other because you're not going to the same school now, right?
Right.
We've got a new season coming up. I assume you guys are getting ready for that stuff. What's going on? What's going on with you?
We got one last tournament before the season ends.
Okay.
The BASS National Championship at Lake Chickamauga. And that's the last tournament before the season's over.
Where's Lake Chickamauga?
Tennessee.
All right.
So do you all stay like? I think you mentioned that you was at your hotel or something. Were y'all at a hotel?
Yeah.
So during this these tournaments, right? So the next one that you're coming up to, y'all go down to the lake, stay at a hotel. Do you kind of like throw the map out on the bed and it was like, man, this is probably the spot where we need to be going? How do you game plan for that?
Well, most of the time we don't use paper maps anymore.
Right. That's all. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, you know
Old
what I mean?
school, baby. Old school.
I'm saying. I'm just trying to.
Old school no more.
Hey, you're talking to a non-fisherman here, so I'm thinking.
You're talking to a fisherman.
No.
Hey, paper mat.
So that's what I'm saying. That like for me, like I'm trying to figure out, like, as a basketball coach, right? As a basketball coach, I'm handing my kids scouting reports, right? So they got the scouting report, they're reading it, they're watching the video. So how do you prepare to say, you know what, I'm going to drop my boat in here and I'm going, I mean, you got acres of lakes, right?
Yeah, you got
I mean, like, how do you know, man, I'm going to go over there or I'm going to go, right here? Like,
Sometimes it's just off of like I have prior experience at that lake. I've fished it a couple times, so I mean I got a starting point. I know where I'm gonna like start to try to figure the fish out. Most of the time, the figuring the fish out is just like little keys and like little things you pick up on, and the 3 days of pre-fishing
Right.
you get. And
Yeah.
it's always the smallest thing that will matter the most.
So you're preparing. You get there and you're pre-fishing before the
Yes.
tournament for
Okay.
3 days,
Yeah, you get a set practice.
and you can. And do you have how much time do you got to do that on your pre-fish? Do you have a certain amount of time?
I think-
Just 3 days.
I think
Okay.
bass.
Just the last days, the only date you got to be in a certain time for the meeting.
It's the
It's like-
final day you can't fish at all. Wednesday.
Okay, well, see,
Yeah,
you can in
you have an
college,
off
but you got to be
day.
off at night.
Yeah.
gotcha.
And the lake's been off limits for like a month now for anybody in that tournament. So
Okay.
So they got.
How do they keep you from going?
I mean,
Well, I mean, they
I
don't.
just wonder.
but,
I don't
you
know.
You'll get reported.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You'll get disqualified
Right.
and
Nobody, you don't want to chance. Nobody wants to chance it.
absolutely
Right?
no, because a young fisherman going into this don't need no kind of
it's
Sure.
basically
That kind of
all
stuff.
And this is
morals and
such a
stuff.
big tournament that, like, you know, you have to qualify to get that. Kentucky took 15 boats, I think, maybe not even that. So, you know, to lose this tournament would be to lose a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. How many? So Kentucky's taking 15
14
boats.
boats.
14
14?
boats. How many? How many boats are going to be in this tournament?
Last year,
Last year
it
was like
was
500.
but this year,
They
like
said
last,
they were going to cap it at 250.
Yes.
But they also said that the year before. So,
And then we took 500. Yeah.
man, so.
So I mean, again, 500 boats out on the lake, right?
you got to
Did-
pick
did-
one spot, and
Yeah.
it better be your best one because you're fishing behind.
Do you notice 500 boats on the lake?
Definitely.
100%. Yeah.
So are people like casting over each other, crossing lines, and all this other
No,
stuff?
Most people have the common courtesy to not do that, but
Right, but every now and then you'll get people that'll, you know, cut in 20 yards from you and just pull into a bank and start fishing. So
How fast your boats go?
it depends on the different brands.
Well, I'm saying the boats y'all running. Are y'all going pretty quick down the water?
Like 60.
I've that's kind of scary on the water at that in a bass boat. I've been with buddies at like nighttime. I've fished Cumberland for striper, and I guess my buddies know the lake because I can't see nothing, you know, and it's scary. Do you guys, are you driving the boats or you?
In the tournaments, you're not allowed to, but
in practice you can.
in
If the
practice,
if the rules don't
if-
apply.
Yeah,
Okay, so the captain is the captain.
captain has to.
Yeah. Okay.
Till you come to college. You come to
Yeah.
college, you ain't get captains no more. It's the boys driving.
Which-
You know,
okay.
they're doing everything on their own.
Which
man.
most of the kids that are on the teams go fish local tournaments and stuff by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without captain, like adult tournaments.
Sure.
You got Ryan McCoy on here who said he taught you everything he knows. What you got to say to Ryan there?
You tell Moose, just tell him Moose that I'm with him. You tell him he's taught me everything.
Yeah.
He can type in his sleep, can't he?
Oh.
Must be dreaming, right?
I'm not even going there.
Again, if y'all had just tuned in here, we're here with some of the world champions of fishing here with Elijah and Bryce and U-Pike's new head bass coach. If y'all have any comments, go ahead and share those now. Go ahead and type those in. We can also answer any questions you may have.
So guys, let's talk. So what's next? This year, you say you've got this last tournament. You guys are preparing for. You're getting some sponsors lined out. You said you had getting some
Yeah.
sponsors lined out. Do you get sponsors before every tournament? Is that how you kind of do that, or you?
Sometimes you get them before the big tournaments, mainly.
Like this tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
It
tournament
costs a
fishing
lot.
ain't cheap. Yeah, fishing's
Okay.
definitely not cheap. You know,
Like we put on day one, after day 1, 2, and after day 3, I think we put $230 in the boat after day 1, and then we put like 190 after day 2,
Fuel?
yeah.
Yeah.
and then plus all the random baits we had to buy at the bait shop today.
Right.
And then after day 3, I think day 3 we only put like 110 in.
So does your all's garages at your house? I had some buddies that fish a lot, like Joey Reed. He passed away a few years ago. Willie Strange, he fishes a lot. Their garages are plastered with baits. Like they look like a bait store.
I have a whole other room built. It's got fishing rods and baits and stuff in it.
How many rods do you think you got?
Too many.
What about you?
An estimate. An octopus don't got enough fingers. Like I'm talking
Just
over 100, bro.
wow.
Like, it's crazy the amount of random rods that I have just laying around. Like, oh, I didn't know I had this rod, or oh, that rod's there.
Yeah, or like you'll go to the store and buy baits, and then come home, clean out your boat, and be like, oh, there's 5 packs of them. I just buy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gene, we talk about the cost of to go to a tournament, the cost to fish, right? A cost. What would it typically cost, estimate wise, to put these 2 fishermen, let's say, out on one of these tournaments?
Well, if it's
the
going
boat
to be,
and everything.
you're probably looking at, if they're going to be gone, you can about figure a week. Usually about 3 practice days and then your tournament days. And I'm talking about, you can't, if you count your travel time in, you're probably going 6-7 days. So really, really good roundabout estimate, to be honest, is I would say that if 2 went to fish 6 days like them, with everything, they're probably going to look at somewhere for 6 days about $1,200 to $1,500. Probably about $1,500. Pretty close. That's counting food, motel, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that.
Now, but there's some heavy prize money though. Sometimes at some of these tournaments, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's even in college level, and even in what they fish, you like in MLF fishing nationals. We've made 20 some nationals at KCU.
Yeah.
I mean, if you fish MLF, you're fishing for first place is like a boat and $10,000. Second place is a boat. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a lot to be there. And
if you got any spare boats, I got a place for one. If you
I can't find none there. I know that. But just like with them, a lot of theirs is scholarships and stuff like that they win. And they do win money too, you know what I'm saying? But scholarships is money.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still going to take you down the line where you need to go to.
Right. So, what James kind of hit on it earlier. Y'all have many types of bait. What's your go-to bait?
A Demiki rig for me.
I'm an upshallow guy, and I like flipping a jig and flipping by like a rage bug or something like that.
I got you. So, like, obviously, there's many types of jigs, and you got all these plastic baits. And I mean, are you allowed to use real bait, like live bait?
No.
No. Okay.
See, I don't know about all that stuff because I don't use but one rod and one bait.
Okay.
That's all I use, start to finish.
You gonna tell everybody?
He can tell you. Anybody knows me knows it.
Ball and chain.
Yep.
Dragging on the sea rig.
Carolina rig. That's all I throw. Start to, and I've had pretty good luck on it. That's what's got me where I'm at. But no, when I say that, I say it's a joke, but that is all I fish. You know what I'm saying? Truthfully.
What's something else that you like to do besides fishing?
I live and breathe this.
I don't.
Just to prepare for the next day to fish, huh?
Yeah,
That's right.
I mean, I seen you at church Sunday.
Yeah. Go to church. Try to go every Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes home, goes fishing.
Yeah, that's right.
Go home, go fishing. That's right. Well, so where's your go-to spot, fishing-wise?
Like lake. I don't know. I like Cedar Creek's a good lake, or Cumberland.
Yeah. I like Kentucky Lake, and I like
Oh yeah, Kentucky Lake's a heck of a lake.
Yeah.
Had some of the best practice days I've ever had at Kentucky.
It's always in practice, though.
It
Can't
is.
catch your fish in a tournament.
Never.
Gene, what about you? What do you like to do besides, obviously there's a lot of time in recruiting that you have to go out and you watch these, these men and women fish and so forth. But what do you like to do in the off season?
I used to be a big avid hunter. Used to be. I loved it. Fishing's my thing. Always has been. Always will be. I guess as you get older, things change a little bit. Don't get me wrong. There ain't nothing, no funner for me to get in my boat and go fish a tournament. But my life has changed a little bit now. These young men and women, and this is just what I love. It's what I do. My wife will tell you, when those 2 boys won down at Hartwell, I was down there on Thursday because I had to come back because I had an anniversary, my daughter's birthday, on that. But I drove almost 7 hours, stayed 3 hours, and drove 7 hours back home just to watch these kids walk across stage. You know what I'm saying? So, but when they won, I fished some big tournaments. I've made BFL All-American, but there was nothing no more exciting to me. And my wife was screaming, in the house. We was excited, because, I just kind of knew him a little bit, but that right there, I mean, we know, he's our buddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we've kind of, my life right now is devoted to my kids. The fishing, as far as when it comes to the fishing scene, or what I really enjoy doing. I love it. I love every day about it. I love recruiting. That's what I love. Meeting families, meeting people. I'm flying a kid in from Montana next Monday to walk through. I'm going to pick them up at the airport. I can't wait. These kids are, I'm just excited about this. And, that's where it goes to. I've had 35 years of this. I've been able to do. I've still got good sponsors. Lou's. I've got so many rods, you couldn't put them in this basement. But at the end of the day, that stuff's all good. And that's all great, and I appreciate them. And they've always been good to me. But I want to see these kids going to the next level.
Yeah.
And I want to be the part that gets them there. I want to be the missing puzzle, that gets them there. So that's what I'm all about anymore. Is my kids. I want to watch them.
Everybody, we are going to go to our next commercial break.
Out There Winning podcast is brought to you in part by Dubby, your taste buds' favorite energy drink.
Follow your bubby over to Facebook and click on the W. Get a 10% discount with our code Out There Winning. Fishes and Honeycomb Children's Boutique, where every outfit tells a story and every toy sparks imagination.
From beautiful dresses to adorable t-shirts, we have the perfect ensemble for every occasion.
Fishes and Honeycomb Children's Boutique at fishesandhoneycomb.com. Also, follow us on Facebook. Great Yard Prime Wash, Pressure Wash, and Soft Wash Services.
Destroying grime, one house at a time. Contact Great Yard Prime Wash at greatyardprimewash.com.
Pool Brothers. Turn your backyard into a dream oasis.
Complete pool installations from start to finish. Contact Pool Brothers at poolbrothers.com.
Chill Zone CBD at chillzonecbd.com.
Discover the natural benefits of CBD with our premium products. Whether you're seeking for relaxation, relief, or rejuvenation, our CBD's offering have you covered.
Your journey to natural relief starts at Chill Zone CBD. chillzonecbd.com.
X-Powered Travel.
Escape the ordinary and explore the extraordinary with our travel packages tailored to satisfy every wanderlust. Whether you crave the serenity of pristine beaches, the thrill of vibrant cities, or the awe-inspiring beauty of nature's wonders, we have the perfect destination waiting for you.
X-Powered Travel at xpoweredtravel.com. Next Level Entertainment.
Elevate your event to the next level with our premier mobile DJ services. Whether you're planning a wedding, corporate event, birthday bash, or any special occasion, our professional DJs are here to keep the party rocking all night long.
Find us on Facebook at Next Level Entertainment.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to our podcast, Out There Winning with James and Akeem. We are going to start talking about closing up here and getting some last words from our guests here. Guys, what do you want to talk about? What have we left out?
Well, if you ever want to get into fishing, just go for it. And,
Yeah.
Cause you make so many new friends and you meet so many people. With these people, we didn't know it, we didn't plan it or nothing, but we were staying in the same hotel as people that he'd met from Mississippi,
Yeah.
other people from Kentucky, like and all team like. At these big tournaments, you get to meet a lot of people, and you usually see them again at other big tournaments. You just get to know each other and become friends and stuff like that.
So you get to network a little bit, meet other people. Do you all do like trade secrets? Like, man, sometimes okay.
100%. If I'm having a bad day, I can always, ask a buddy. Most of the time he'll lie, but
Are you sharing bad info or good info?
You never know.
Go over there.
I got an idea. It ain't all good. Trust me.
Well, what do you hear out there, Gene? Like,
Hey, number one thing, I never do, is doc talk. I'm done with doc talk. And these boys right here, they didn't win the world
doc
doc
talk.
talk.
No, just back it up, right?
They went by the seat of their britches. They went out there and they done what they're supposed to do, and they end up winning. And they make good decisions at good times.
Right.
Doc talk will take you out of your game every time.
And there's guys that thrive on that, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
that's all they go by.
That's right.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying there's guys that thrive on giving bad information.
Well, these guys, there's guys that puts their boat in the water going on other people's information, whether it's right or wrong.
Right.
That's just you can't do that.
Every end of the spectrum, right?
Like, I don't care if I hear somebody say, "Oh, well, they're biting this." I honestly don't really care. I'm going to go.
Just stay with what you know.
I'm going to force the fish to eat how I want them to eat.
Yeah.
Right.
If it don't work, whoop-de-doo, it don't work.
Right.
But I'm not going to pick up somebody else's game plan and go fishing. I'm fishing how I want to.
In fishing, this sport is the most humbling sport. I will put this out there. It's the most humbling sport. But you can go, 3 days in a row, catch 25 pound on one bait in a 20-yard stretch, and you can go tournament morning, fish your tail off, and not get a bite. It's just humbling. You can go from hero to zero, and you can go from zero to hero, just like we did.
Yeah.
We went from zero to hero in a big way.
We had the smallest bag of the whole tournament on day 2, the smallest fish of the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Turn around and win the thing.
Caught a bunch of fish sticks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Real humbling.
So talk about that, a little bit. We talk about it as being humbling and so forth, but knowing, like, I'm in this huge tournament and I go weigh in or whatnot, and I have the smallest fish, I don't have the weight, and I'm looking at all these folks up here and I'm like, man, I'm just behind. Or,
Yes.
we're behind. Like,
We knew we had another chance on day 3 because day 3 they take the top 20 biggest bags from day 3 and send them to the final day. So we knew we had to come out swinging.
And I think in this sport, that's what separates the good from the great and the bad from the good. If you can have a bad day and come back with a good day, that's going to put you on top of everybody.
And back to that, 9th inning, bases loaded, you're down 1, batter's up, full count. No different. 1 second left in a basketball game, you're shooting a free throw.
yeah,
You're on the 1-yard line trying to score
touchdown.
1 second.
Yeah,
When you're behind fishing, it's the same
the
feeling.
same. Yeah,
You got to make that pitch count. You got to make that shot count. You got to make that run in count. You got to make that cast count.
It's all about how you take
It's
it.
all the same.
And you
It's all mental.
You never know when your next cast. Like he never knew his next cast was gonna be almost 7-pounder. At Lake Hartwell of all lakes for it to be,
A
like
7-pounder there is a big one.
If you've got 15 minutes left to fish,
you got.
you're fishing for me
You fish
as a
every-
college fisherman. If you ain't got bad sick or something going on, I better not see that boat come through them buoys
right.
because it only takes 1 cast
Yeah.
to catch a 6-pounder.
That's right.
You boys
That's
know
right.
that.
How do you,
That's the difference in winning.
right?
Like at the KBN state championship this year, we caught 3 keepers in the last 5 minutes to weigh in our limit. And we caught 3 keepers in 4 casts
Yeah.
off of the last spot.
And going off that tournament, I was leading that tournament by 2 pounds, and if it was the old me, say 3 years ago, I'd have been out of that tournament. On day 2 of that tournament, I flipped in there, maybe my 3rd flip into this bush. I lost one that was probably close to 4 pounds, and if it was the old me, I would have broke my rod over my foot, and I would have sat down and we went back to the dock. But here lately, I've just controlled the controllables. If I lose a fish, I couldn't control it as long as I didn't do nothing wrong. In my head, as long as I'm in it in my head, I think me and him can do good as long as you're in your
You
head.
just can't get yourself down.
Yeah.
I was-
You're your own worst enemy.
Right. I was going to ask, like, how do you feel like, we talk about sports impacting what you do in the future, and what else happens, when for basketball, when the ball stops bouncing or when the football stops, is not in the air anymore. How do you feel like bass fishing is preparing you now for the next step in life?
Well, you gotta learn how to adapt to a lot of stuff when it comes to fishing, and you gotta learn to just take it on the chin and get back up and keep going. Because, this year or last year in 2023, I won the regional tournament. I had like 11 pounds, 15 ounces, and I think second was like 5 pounds. And this year at Harrington, I went down for the regionals and I blanked. So like he said, it's one of the most humbling. And the weekend before the regionals this year at Harrington, I had like 16 pounds, and that would have won the regionals at Harrington this year. But you just can't control it.
But you figured it out, because just like you said, you got to take it on the chin. You got to get up and go again.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you're gonna get better in anything you do. You got to lose to win.
Right.
And you got to. That's the only thing that makes it better. Take that little lick on the chin, go back out there and do it better, or figure out what you did wrong. And that's fishing.
Yeah, just learning from the mistakes.
Learning from mistakes.
Getting up when you get knocked down, all those things like that. And I think, I'll tell just a really quick story. I mean, when my dad was around, he took me fishing. I was probably the most impatient person out there. I wanted it now, shooting the ball. I needed to fix now, right? So he takes me fishing, and he takes me to a lake that had no fishing. He knew that. I didn't. I'm sitting there casting. I'm mad. So he's, you know what I mean? Like, how come I'm not catching a fish, right?
He's having a good day.
Yeah, my dad's having a great day because he knows what's going on. But the whole point of it is making sure, that you're patient, and don't be in such a hurry and all this. There's so many life lessons that I just learned from just casting.
That's where you learned that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just saying that, I mean, like you said, everything that has something to do with life at the end of the day. And I just wanted to see how you all took that, like you said, you used to get mad and break the rod over your knee and so forth, but now, you brought that. Yeah.
I used to be terrible.
So because you're, competitive, you want to win.
And I got news for you both. It ain't over yet.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be that day you're going to break that rod over your knee again, and you're going to and it's just the way it happens. That's just the way it is.
I wanted to do it down in Texas this year at the Bass Open because I lost about a 5-pounder, and we didn't have a limit at the end of the tournament.
Yeah.
We fell in the points race. We were first in it, and then we dropped.
Right.
To like fourth.
Dang. Hey, Gene, Ron McCoy said he's got 4 years of eligibility left. He takes some scholarship money and NIL money. Money talks. Have you came across any of those NIL deals or anything in college?
They're in bass fishing right now. There's not NIL stuff. It's just not. We're basically getting ourselves now in bass fishing to where, and really right now most of it's. I look for it's over to be an NCAA sport. It's just growing so big.
So quick, yeah.
And, it may be down the road, but the NIL money and stuff like that in bass fishing, they give away so many good scholarships now for bass fishing. And so it's a big, it's a reward. No, I'm not handing you a check to come to Pikeville. But in another way, I really am if I'm if I'm giving you scholarship to come fish for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the same thing,
Right.
So that's where it's going. I can't really wait to see down the road these young men right here to what the future holds for them. And I'm not just talking about next year or the year after. Time, especially him, time he gets to be a senior. You'll be coming in to the program in a couple of years. It's going to be so many changes. Things is happening. It's happening huge in fishing right now.
Right.
And because there's so many people getting involved, and that's why, you're not spending all this money and this effort and this time to run all over the country to chase a little green fish. You can do that at Cave Brunt. There's a purpose behind this.
Right.
They really are. And that's what you're doing. Hitting a ball on the golf course fun, but when you're doing it for $1 million first place, it's a little different.
Yeah.
And that's what you all are just experienced. And that's what they was talking to a few minutes ago about getting that stress motion going. What do you do next?
Yeah.
and it's just like putting or anything else. I mean, what do? You got to watch how the fairway lay. You got to, fishing. Where's the next brush pile you're going to?
Yeah.
That's where it all changes the game.
And guys, you guys had kind of come together by chance, right? Obviously, you fish well together. Are y'all looking for opportunities to team up some more?
Right, yeah, I think definitely, we're going to try to defend our title. We can't just not fish the next World Championship and National Championship. So our plans, if we can get the right sponsorships and the right companies to come on this journey with us, we want to fish the MLF High School Open. So if there's any companies out there that want to hop on this journey, he has a year, I got 3 years. There's 4 or 5 tournaments, we travel across the country and fish, but we definitely can't do it without the help of other companies and local companies. So that's kind of the plan, is try to fish, defend our title at Grand Lake next year in Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any particular take this time right now for any particular person out there that you may all want to thank, and if it's sponsors, if it's parents or whatnot?
I'd like to thank both my mom and dad and my grandparents for being my biggest supporters by far.
Yeah.
And then the community as a whole is just really supportive.
I want, my biggest support is going to be God, of course. My family's always been there for me, but, God, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be in this room right now, and we wouldn't be sitting, we wouldn't hold that 6'3" trophy up,
It's a monster.
Yeah, it was.
But
I don't think they couldn't get in the basement. But
yeah, so definitely God been biggest supporter, my whole life, and then my grandparents and my grandpa, my mom, my dad, all them people that have helped me, and they're still helping me continue this journey in fishing.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gene, just some final comments on what you're looking forward to as far as Pikeville comes, and maybe use this time to kind of promote your program one more time.
Well, without doubt, I'm very thankful to be sitting in the situation I am, and again, I feel very blessed to be able to start a program with so much support behind me. Just so many good people. That's really pushed this. Today I sit into meetings and stuff, and my texts, my phone's been blowed up with people just welcoming me aboard and knowing where the programs was going. I got an opportunity to speak at Pikeville for the chambers up there, and just so supportive.
Right.
And I want to do good for Pikeville. I want this program one day, if I retire or leave it, I want to be on solid rock. I want somebody to be able to take it over and be able to just transition in without having. Let me do all the head work right now, all the hard work. Let me do all that. Let me bring the kids. Let me be the one that lay awake 2 o'clock.
Just pioneer this thing.
Doing this. So the next person that steps up down the road will be able to come in to a good solid foundation. And the only way to get that solid foundation is to get out there and get these solid foundation kids, and that's what we're doing. Yeah. And the kids are so, like I said, and I can't stress it enough, there's just so many good fishermen. It's hard to pick and choose. They are.
Yeah.
They are A+ fishermen. And you got 2 sitting right here with you tonight, or they wouldn't literally be sitting here. They've won the world. That's awesome. Sometimes some of them gets in their head that, man, well, it's kind of lucky. No, it ain't luck. And I think I've already had some conversations with them before about that I don't build a foundation at Pikeville on luck.
Luck, yeah.
You don't build your career on luck. You build it on what you can do. You go out there and give it everything you got all the time that you're in that boat. You put the chips where they fall. And if you don't do good, go back the next day and do the same thing until you finally hit where you're going. And that's the same with me. When you all go to check, I promise you, if I'm alive, you'll see me standing in that crowd. How many tournaments you ever been at, you ain't seen my face standing out there?
He gets to them all, don't he?
I mean, and it just, it's what it takes. There's days that I like being fishing, but you boys are more important. There's days that you'd rather be doing other things. You got a headache, you don't feel good, but you're out there fishing. And that's what it's all built about. It's a profession now. It's not just fishing. This has become a professional sport. And you guys have got it. and y'all just got to stay with it, hang with it, and that's what you got to do. Just keep rolling in the right direction.
Well, guys, on behalf of Akeem and I thank you guys for coming to the
appreciate
show.
it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's been a great
Absolutely.
show. We've learned a
Absolutely.
lot. We talked about some pretty cool stuff, I think.
Yeah.
And man, we really appreciate you.